Signal time will be X minus 20 seconds. Mark, X minus 20 seconds. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Pentagon, the Secretary of Defense, presiding over the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps, has the responsibility to see that every defense dollar is expended effectively. Here is Secretary of Defense Neil H. McElroy.
I would like to talk to you for a few moments about your investment in national security, the defense dollar, and how it is spent. The defense budget is a major part of the federal budget, which is the nation's family budget, yours and mine, the budget of 170 million Americans. Like the family budget, much of the defense budget goes for the everyday necessities of life, for pay, food, clothing, housing, transportation, medical care, training on the job. A great part goes for the increasingly expensive tools of the military trade, from jeeps to jets, from rifles to rockets, and for maintaining hundreds of installations at home and abroad. As a nation, we desire and work for peace, but we must not drop our guard. We must continuously modernize, improve our ability to meet any threat from any quarter. Yet we must, at any instant, be ready to fight with the guns, planes, ships, and rockets of today, as well as design and produce tomorrow's weapons. Defense is costly, but not nearly as costly as war. We believe that military strength is our best present insurance against war. You will now see some of the ways our defense dollar helps to protect our freedoms.
First, the blueprint for protection is the federal budget. In it are details showing how 63 cents of every budget dollar will be spent for necessary defense. But these are not just figures Congress approves. The dollars are translated into military power. For example, a modern supercarrier like the Forrestal costs $200 million. That's a lot of money, more than 16 states spend every year on their individual activities. However, one of these floating air bases in a world-troubled spot may prevent a conflict that would cost Americans 10 times $200 million a day. One of these B-52s costs as much as 40 World War II bombers, but each can carry a payload equal to all the bombs dropped in World War II. There are countless items like the Army's modern tank that cost $133,000 each. That's the price of 100 average family cars or 1,000 television sets. And it takes about 300 tanks for the new pentomic armored divisions we must equip for nuclear war. The Secretary's top military advisors, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, are among the dedicated military and civilian leaders whose advice determines our defense. With General Twining as chairman, they plan global strategy and keep close watch on day-to-day developments. We must provide far-flung military power to support our foreign policy. It spells not only the security of the United States, but the security of the whole free world. military assistance program is dedicated to helping our allies and friends who have the will to resist. In order to stretch our defense dollars so they may work more effectively for us, we have joined forces with many allies overseas. This includes bases in far-off lands where the sands are hot and where bombers are poised to fly at a moment's warning. From the desert sands to the desolate Arctic, we are working to safeguard ourselves and the free world. One of the most extensive heavy requirements is in the development of radar warning screens which can warn the United States of an approaching enemy. Included in this extensive and complex network is an effective system governing the top of our side of the globe. Coordinated between the United States and Canadian governments, the combined radar warning screens will not only detect a potential enemy, but they will control fighter aircraft and anti-aircraft weapons engaged in interception. Many difficult problems have been encountered in the establishment of this early warning system in the Canadian North, extending over thousands of miles. Extreme temperatures for most of the year make resupply extremely difficult. Also, much of the ground has been inaccessible except by tractor train and helicopter. This makes the transport of vital construction and maintenance materials costly and time-consuming. We have also assumed some of the responsibility to train our allies' selected officers and men, not only in their own lands, but concurrently with United States forces at our modern training centers. Training these members of our defense team within the United States offers them a better understanding of Americans and of each other. Such understanding is desirable for effective cooperation during combined operations against a common enemy. We provide the equipment both here and overseas. There is more to the military assistance program than just training. There is the necessity to equip and support these friendly foreign forces with the latest weapons. Including missiles like the Matador. Funds expended by the Department of Defense turn into the implements of modern war. The tremendous problem of global supply calls for convoys of all kinds to deliver the goods. Money is apportioned soundly for important exploration in many varied fields to help keep our country strong. Metropolis and Main Street, USA provide the sinews of defense. Men, money, skill, and heavy industry forges the shield for our security. Overseas or at home, we must conduct and maintain new modern barracks and provide for things so essential for good morale, such as a much-needed hospital to take care of the medical needs of our servicemen and women. Today, total defense of the United States is no longer represented by batteries of cannons and shore installations of not too many years ago. Of necessity, a modern, effective defense must be a three-pronged weapon, one which will permit early detection of an enemy's approach to our land through the extensive radar early warning systems. Weapons constantly being improved. And the power and ability to strike back at the enemy in full force at the moment of enemy attack. We must be ready with trained personnel, both from the regular services and their reserve components, capable of handling the weapons which have been developed. Without the strength for complete retaliatory action against an enemy on a moment's notice, we would be vulnerable to terrible devastation. Security is costly, but it's the price of liberty, the price we pay to ensure the safety of our loved ones. In the creation and development of the modern weapons needed, it is necessary to experiment continually, correcting here, modifying there. But it takes time, years, to get from drawing board to actual production. Daily there is progress on new weapons like the intermediate range ballistic missile. This is a Thor test firing. And a Jupiter. We have an arsenal of missiles and rockets on hand for immediate use. The Falcon, a guided aircraft rocket of supersonic speed, is an air-to-air weapon carried in quantity by interceptor aircraft. Launched miles from the target, the Falcon automatically pursues its prey to destroy it. An air-to-air missile of supersonic speed, the Sparrow is a powerful deterrent against attack by jet bombers and fighters. Its control system is versatile, permitting effective attacks against high and low altitude targets. Here in slow motion is the Redstone, which can travel through space at several times the speed of sound. This surface-to-surface guided missile offers great firepower on the battlefield and can strike selected targets deep in enemy rear areas. The Rascal is a long-range guided missile. It is a rocket-powered missile designed to be carried by strategic bombers and released miles from its objective to proceed at high speed to the target. The Terrier is a supersonic surface-to-air guided missile to intercept aircraft at a longer range and higher altitude than conventional anti-aircraft guns under all weather conditions. The Bullmark, also supersonic, is a long-range, high-flying guided missile seeking out enemy aircraft. Air-to-air, we have the Genie, already tested with atomic warhead. the development of all these weapons, both defensive and offensive, there is the dual consideration as to how they can be adapted and utilized in the event of brush fire wars in any part of the world, hot or cold. Soviet Russia, pouring great sums into military expansion, has not only the means to wage conventional war, but has effective nuclear weapons. It has the means to carry them to an attack. Therefore, we must prepare ourselves with the finest on land, sea, and in the sky to meet any aggression. On land, we have the Army Lacrosse, a conventional artillery weapon for tactical support of ground troops. At sea, the Regulus missile, launched from a submarine, has been improved so that the newest is capable of delivering a warhead over a range of hundreds of miles. The rugged Sidewinder is ready to destroy enemy high-performance fighters or bombers anywhere from sea level to over 50,000 feet. The first of a nuclear navy to sweep the 7 seas is the submarine Nautilus. For anti-submarine warfare, we constantly improve our means of detection and destruction. The Navy is also developing an atomic punch underwater. Here's a nuclear sub-sea explosion. In the air, the ingenuity of attack into enemy areas features vertical envelopment, carrying men and weapons as consolidated, ready-to-fight units. Refueling capacities of fighters and bombers in forward areas extend our long-range striking power and effectiveness. Fighting men carried deep over enemy lines can be dropped to the attack en masse. Training a single soldier costs about $6,000, and specialized training, such as paratroop training, plus the equipment required, increases the costs. High-flying heavy bombers designed to carry the war to the enemy emphasize that a strong offense is the best defense. Our first intercontinental guided missile is the Snark, taking off with its lethal load on a flight which may take it thousands of miles. Without revealing secrets, this chart compares the reach and range of some weapons of tomorrow. Here is the Atlas, our first intercontinental ballistic missile, test firing.